So I have been recently been studying about the secret to success in life, and I feel like the one continuous uh continuous theme that goes along with it is that you have to be it's all in the mind, right? And it makes complete sense. So let me run it down with you. So check it out. As a human consciousness, right? And as like as a human consciousness, right? I'm sorry. But um no, but seriously though, so if you go back in time and go all the way back and like history has the answers, you know what I mean? Cuz history repeats, so there's always like hidden gems and clues to, you know, the world. Okay, check it. Sorry. I know I'm bouncing, but check it. The world and life is riddled by patterns. If you look around, the world and see how it was built upon shapes and symbols and patterns. Like, I feel like that's like the main blueprint to not just society, not just us as humans, because we are creatures of habit, which is patterns, but also to the universe as well. And because everything is calculated, it may not seem, that's like the crazy illusion is that like everything may seem random, but everything really is like calculated. Everything had to be in some way to create that pattern to where we even exist. Okay, so there's a pattern and it's calculated, but we just don't have the understanding yet. Who knows? Like maybe later down in the human in the future for humans, they figure that shit out. But I do know deep down that there is a pattern. Where was I going along with this? So pretty much went back in Pangea days, um, even across like the entire uh Pangea in different caves, our ancestors pretty much believed that there was a higher power, and they scribbled it on the walls and shit. Art is inevitably, and I undoubtedly I think is the humans greatest superpower. So because like imagination, right? I'm really starting to understand that not a lot of people have that. And like not a lot of people can like really like not even truly like be imaginative, but more so have faith and believe in their imagination. A lot of people like to just think that imagination is just things that you think of and then that's it, you know what I mean, like, or like how you ever want to perceive it. They make it seem so childish that if you use your imagination as an adult, you seem kind of it's undermined. It's better to say, oh, I was just sitting there thinking about it, instead of being like, no, you imagined it, like you imagined this idea, like um you I just planned it out. Nah, bro, you imagined it. Like, look at every single thing that you touch and feel, like, was created, and that creation was once an imagination, which therefore we all have the ability to create through our minds. That's the secret tip. That's the power. That's the that's the cheat code, right? So, but the problem is, it's like, okay, so if it's that easy, like, why haven't there been people that um why aren't we all successful? Pretty much is the question. Like I said before, not a lot of people believe in their imagination. Okay. um I think one of the most foolish things, like growing up, like I understand now, like if I went up to a magician and was like, hey, like teach me how, like, can I be put in the class to learn how to be a magician? You can't teach someone how to believe in themselves. Like, that's like that's a your own type of journey type of thing. And I'm sorry, like, that's just truly, like, if you really want it, you have to find it within. And it truly is like two worlds. Duality is so important. Duality is a constant reflect. We are a constant reflection of duality by looking at your fellow brothers and sisters. So like whenever so when you take that into mind, when you take that into consideration, like you have an inner world and you have an outer world, okay? And when you pay more attention to your inner world, you start to realize that your thoughts, 95% of it, they say you can't even you're not even like really paying attention to, but they create your reality. Okay. So the famous phrase, what a man thinketh, a man is. And I am a testimony to that phrase, because as a man, as what I was what I like thought all the time. I went through phases of depression, and I went through phases of like destroying my ego, and now like phases of higher thinking. And when I look back at it, I start to understand that my reality and how I was going through it, and the ways that I was going through it, and how I was affected was really because of how I was thinking. And because as humans, as people, we have the power. No matter the circumstances, we have the choice. You still have the agency to look at the shitty situation that you're in and be like, I don't want to accept this. So then you really like start embedding that into your own head, and then reality has no choice but to respond. You know what I mean? Like your inner world has no choice, but your outer world, sorry, has no choice but to respond to your inner world. And but again, it sounds easy, but when you have to go through that every single day, and you have no idea like when things will change and how it will change, and um if it would ever change. But that's the thing, you don't even want to have the if it would ever change. You want to know that like, okay, yeah, this will change. I just got to keep going. I know it'll change because I know this is not what I want to accept. This is not how I want to live. This is not where I want to be. This is not what I want to do. This, you know what I mean? And every single day you look at it with a keen grace of attitude, with the gratitude, and you keep your eyes forward. It's like that. You keep your eyes forward to what's actually going on. You know what I mean? Like if you're at a 9 to 5 job and you don't want to do that, and you have a bigger aspiration and a bigger dream to what you want to actually do, understand it and look around you and be like, okay, this is just my job to pay the bills right now. Because we live in an economic world where you need that shit, okay? So be grateful that you have a job, that you're able to work, to be able to fund the bills and everything, for you to be able to pursue what you actually want to do. So then, whenever that succeeds, because it will succeed, because you will succeed, you will no longer be worried about, you know what I mean, your day job. You get what I'm saying? And like you can always find ways to use your day job, or the time where you feel like you're wasting your time, in a way that helps you benefit your actual what you want to actually pursue. So like for example, like at my job, I'm able to listen. I have like my headphones in, so I like listen to books. I listen to like audiobooks or podcasts, or um books on like YouTube, about what I use to understand, to be able to speak to you now, and to be able to like for me to better myself and my creative self, mostly my creative self and myself. But I listen to books, and therefore like I'm not only am I getting paid to work, and just like I'm getting paid to do my job or whatever, I'm also at the same time learning and thinking and betting into my subconscious. Like we are like not like mentally, pretty much what I'm saying is like mentally I'm not actually at work. You know what I'm saying? Like Mentally, I'm there at work and I'm gonna do my best, to correct my team and stuff like that. But at the same time, mentally, like I'm thinking about what I already am. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm thinking about who I already am. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm thinking about, I'm like, as the artist that I am, as the musician that I am, as like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm thinking in the mindset of like, as I'm listening to the books and planning and thinking out my ways of being like, okay, this is what I'm going to be doing for, to reach my ultimate goal, you know? And then boom, you clock out, next thing you know. And then now you're at home and you're already like fired up. You're full, you're fueled up. You're like, okay, if you're anything like me, like, you're like, you have, your mind is full of ideas and aspirations and you just want to be like, okay, I want to start working on this thing, like I want to go, you know what I mean? So like, therefore, like, your outer world is like calling. It's like, oh, I want all that like goodness that you got inside, let me have that. And then so that's like why you just want to get it out, you know what I'm saying? So like, um so yeah, as a man, like, thanks, bro, like, uh or as and I say like man, but like, one man too. So but as a person, thanks, dude. It really shows. And like when you play with the idea more, you start to understand, you start to see it more, and you start to be able to take a step back whenever you are like being like really critical on yourself, and understand like, wow, like whoever is yapping in my head, like that's unnecessary. We don't have to worry about that right now. Can we do something about it? No? Okay, then we just, you know what I'm saying, we'll pin that somewhere later until we can do something about it. There's no point. There's none. Um, I was listening to the book, Think, wait, Think and Grow Rich or something like that. Hold on, let me, I think it's, hold on. I think it's Think and Grow Rich. Yeah, Think and Grow Rich, right? So I'm listening to the book, Think and Grow Rich, and he's talking about Abe Lincoln. And Abe Lincoln didn't even like get high school. Like he, like, I think, like, stopped education like sixth grade or some shit. Was it Abe? No, I'm sorry. I'm not Abe Lincoln. Sorry, Henry Ford. It's Henry Ford. So he, yeah, like sixth grade education, right? And pretty much like in the court of law or whatever, they tried to, like, I guess, like, the story behind it was like, I guess they tried to make him seem like he's wasn't smart enough to like actually build the Ford, his legacy, honestly. And they were like asking him about like questions about like fucking history and shit. Nothing, like, nothing. This really shows you. I'm just like, this story like is really funny because it really shows you. But like, they're asking him about like history. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck does that have to do with his industry? But whatever, pop off. And then so pretty much Ford was like, yo, before you keep asking me these questions, what is literally the point of you asking me all these questions, when if I need to know these things, or if I have any questions, or if I need to find an answer, I have people that I can like talk to get those answers, that know those answers. So what is the point of me like having all this random bullshit inside my head when I can keep it clear conscious on what I actually care about? And if there's any point that I do need those answers, I already have people that I can just go to. And then like the whole court quit, like the whole court went like silent because they realized like Henry was actually fucking intelligent, not just because he didn't, go to high school or anything. Like, so therefore it shows you what actual power you have within your own mind. Listen, like, it's true. If one man can do it, another person can. If one person can, why can't you? And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it in exactly one way, because regardless, if you really think about it, why would you want to do it exactly the same way someone else has? Wouldn't you want your own fucking story? Like, I'm just saying, like, wouldn't you want your own story? So so get to like create it and understand that, like, whenever like like magical shit starts to happen, that's when you underwent your own course and study into being a magician. You know what I mean? Like, you started using your own head, you started using your brain, you started using your imagination, and most importantly, you started believing in it, and you started having more faith in it. And um I the reason why I could sit here and like tell you this, and like, is because I've experienced it. You know what I mean? I've, like I said, I've experienced it firsthand. So no one can take that right away from me. You know, no matter what. Like, I literally experienced it. Um so yeah. So you, like I said, like for you, you just have to experience it to know. So um but yeah, that's literally it. I feel I've noticed that that's like the main like key. And I've noticed that most people like put it in the books of like how to get rich, but it's not even just about like how to get rich. It's really just to be successful and to succeed, and to be able to be earnest and honest and diligent throughout all life's difficulties, and understand and have belief and faith within oneself. I feel like that's the greatest lesson through it all. That's like oh, it just hit me. It's like that is being rich. Like, that's like the richest like um thing of it all. Like, I was gonna say, like, that is like, I feel like that's more rich than being rich, because it is like, to be able to have that type of relationship and connection with yourself is so rich, so rich that like not even no one could buy that, you know. So like, it's so rich that no one could buy that. You couldn't sell that. You know what I mean? You couldn't sell that part of yourself. You couldn't sell you, because that's you. Like, you would be so rich. Your character would be so rich. And like, um and I think that's like the biggest, like the best thing out of it all that you could gain from it, you know, is the character that you'll be able to develop. And um you know, they say that like money is the root of all evil. Money is not the root of all evil. I think I already went on a rant about that, but money is not the root of all evil. It's definitely the love. It's definitely like the need and greed of it. But I feel like everyone could be rich if they wanted. You know, people believed in it. People don't believe in that shit. People don't. I believe in that shit though. I believe that everybody could be rich. I don't believe it would solve every problem, but I believe everyone could be rich. There's more than enough. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna start rambling. But that's what I've recently learned. That's what I've recently like been studying, like recently, just tapping into. So I've also been reading and studying upon the Bible a lot more recently, and understanding it a lot more. Like, understanding, like, I ever since I was listening to this book, and I don't know what exact, I forgot exactly where I heard it, but pretty much it was like the Bible is pretty much a book to a guide. It's like a book, a guide to how to use your mind, like um it's like a guide to your mind, mind, body, and soul, right? And I was like, whoa. And then whenever you read the Bible in that kind of like um what's the word, perspective, you start to at least I did, I started to understand the stories a lot better. I started to understand like who Christ actually is a lot better, and like God and everything around the story in the Bible a whole lot better, and was able to even like see the parallels of the stories, and my everyday life personally. Like I think one of the most like brought out ones is the story of Job. And I did not realize until recently like um how depressing that story was, like that or like how depressing Job was. um because when I was young, and when I was like, yeah, when I was young and a kid, they just kind of like breezed over the story that like, yeah, he got like the devil tested him and stuff, but he didn't give out, so he got rewarded. But like when you read it as an adult and like actually get, because I'm reading the New Living Translation one, um which is also helping me understand it more. You really start to understand like his words and what he was actually saying and like crying out, and like how depressed bro really was. And you really understand like what he was actually going through, and you get to see that and be like, wow, there's like millions of Jobs out there. You know what I mean? Like, and um it makes you want to figure out ways that like at least to me personally, and I know that's just me and my like, but you want to understand like ways that like, okay, like how can I, you know, help, the Jobs out there. What lesson in this story can I learn to be able to help out those people? You know what I mean? And um, which is cool because it's like now the Bible isn't just a book about God. Because I feel like that's what a lot of people go into the book to read about. It's about God. It's about Jesus. No, I think when you read the book and the understanding that yes, it shows the relationships between people and God, but it also tells the story and teaches you about the life, the mind that you have, and the spirit that you have. And yeah, I like, and in ways that like, I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm saying that so much, but ways that you can integrate a higher level of a spirit, a higher level of a person, and recognize the evil and the suffering around you, and to feel compassionate and understand that there's people out there like Job, and there's people out there like you, and you deserve healing. You deserve help. You deserve to be like to be kindled, to be kind to. And um so yeah, I just, that's just another like checkpoint, I guess you could say, understanding and like point of growth. But yeah, just, I don't know, that's just what recently I've been up to. But yeah, other than that, I've been doing good. More music on the way. And yeah, I hope you take care of yourself. And ciao.